Hey everybody, this is Did You Know History, and in today's video I'm going to share an interesting fact about each US president. Let's begin. George Washington. He was the first US president and Revolutionary War hero, and was an enthusiastic dog breeder. He especially loved to breed hunting hounds, to which he gave unique names like Sweetlips and Drunkard. John Adams. Adams and his wife Abigail exchanged more than 1,100 letters over the course of their entire relationship. Thomas Jefferson. Amazingly, he died on July 4th in 1826, within hours of his close friend John Adams. James Madison. Madison was actually the shortest president at 5 feet 4 inches and weighed barely over 100 pounds. James Monroe. Besides Washington, Monroe was the only president to ever run basically unopposed, coasting to re-election in the 1820 race. John Quincy Adams. Years after leaving the White House, Adams argued a famous Supreme Court case that freed the captive Africans who had rebelled aboard the Amistad slave ship. Andrew Jackson. Shockingly, Jackson once killed a man in a duel. Martin Van Buren. Van Buren was the first president to be born an American. All previous presidents were born under British rule, having been born prior to 1776. William Henry Harrison. Unfortunately, Harrison's claim to fame is having the shortest stint of any president. He lasted only 32 days in office. John Tyler. What can we say? Tyler was virile. He fathered 15 children, the most of any US president. James K. Polk. Unfortunately, this is a very dark stain for his legacy. During his term, Polk secretly purchased a number of enslaved children for his Mississippi cotton plantation. Zachary Taylor. Oddly enough, he never voted in an election prior to being on the ballot himself. Millard Fillmore. Fillmore was the last Whig president. The party imploded soon after he left office. Franklin Pierce. He's the only president from New Hampshire, and also attended college in New England. James Buchanan. In 1853, while serving as minister to Great Britain, Buchanan helped draft the 1854 Ostend Manifesto, which advocated for an American invasion of Cuba. Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln is the only president to have obtained a patent for an invention. He invented a device to lift boats over shoals and other obstacles in a river, but it was never manufactured. Andrew Johnson. Though one of the few presidents without a pet, Johnson apparently cared for a family of White House mice, which he called the Little Fellows. Ulysses S. Grant. Grant was invited to join President Lincoln at Ford Theater on the fateful evening of April 14, 1865, but was forced to decline after he and his wife made plans to visit their children in New Jersey. Rutherford B. Hayes. Hayes was the first president to have a telephone in the White House. James A. Garfield. Garfield was elected to the U.S. Senate, but he never served as Ohio Senator because he then won the Republican nomination for president. Chester A. Arthur. Arthur was named in honor of Chester Abell, the doctor who delivered him. Grover Cleveland. No president except Cleveland has ever served non-consecutive terms. He defeated James G. Blaine in 1884, lost to Benjamin Harrison in 1888, and then came back to defeat Harrison in 1892. Benjamin Harrison. Harrison was the first president to hire a female White House staffer. William McKinley. McKinley's likeness appears on the $500 bill, which was discontinued in 1969. Theodore Roosevelt. Roosevelt was the youngest president, taking office at age 42. William Howard Taft. Taft was the first president to throw a ceremonial first pitch at a Major League Baseball game. Woodrow Wilson. In a 1914 proclamation, Wilson officially established the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. Warren G. Harding. Before taking office, Harding wrote a series of love letters to his mistress, the wife of one of his best friends. Calvin Coolidge. Known as a quiet man, Coolidge one time had a visitor who bet she could get at least 3 words out of him. He replied, "You lose." Herbert Hoover. Hoover was the first president to hail from west of the Mississippi River. Franklin D. Roosevelt. He is the longest-serving commander-in-chief and claimed to be distantly related to 11 other presidents, including his fifth cousin, Theodore Roosevelt. Harry S. Truman. The S in Harry S. Truman was just an initial. It didn't stand for any name. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Eisenhower was the first president to ride in a helicopter. John F. Kennedy. After being injured and honorably discharged in World War II, Kennedy was briefly employed as a journalist. Lyndon B. Johnson. Johnson's first career was as a teacher. He worked at a school near the US-Mexico border for 4 years before launching a career in politics. Richard M. Nixon. Nixon was such a skillful poker player while stationed in the Solomon Islands during World War II that his winnings helped launch his political career upon his return to the United States. Gerald Ford. A star football player at the University of Michigan, Ford turned down offers from both the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. Jimmy Carter. After the death of his father in 1953, Carter gave up his successful military career to move back to Georgia and work on their family's peanut farm. Ronald Reagan. Prior to becoming a politician, Reagan worked as a lifeguard, a sportscaster, and an actor. George H.W. Bush. While a student at Yale University, Bush was captain of the baseball team and a member of Skull and Bones, an elite secret student society. Bill Clinton. Clinton was the first U.S. president to be born after World War II. George W. Bush. After his presidency, Bush took up oil painting, exhibiting his work at the Museum of the Southwest in Texas. Barack Obama. Obama has won 2 Grammy Awards for Best Spoken Word Album. His wife Michelle has likewise won a Grammy. Donald J. Trump. Before becoming president, Trump was a real estate developer, entrepreneur, and host of the NBC reality show The Apprentice. Joe Biden. Biden overcame a debilitating childhood stutter after enduring bullying over the condition in grade school. If you enjoyed this video where I shared an interesting fact about each US president and continue liking seeing this kind of history content, please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again for watching.